Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another edition of the 2025 World Series of Poker from the Horseshoe Las Vegas. Nighttime coverage of Day 2 of the 100K High Roller. Coming your way, Ali Najad alongside Jesse Sylvia with the call. And the lights shine bright upon a featured table that features some brightness of its own. Andrew Lucky Chewy Lichtenberger, on the heels of having final tabled and made a deep run to finish second in the 50K, finds himself at our feature here, looking for perhaps some additional glory. 2.6 million will go to the eventual champion in this one. 247,000 if you slide into the top 9 in this 100K buy-in as you look at the tournament format brought to you by Splash. 60-minute levels in this one, a 3-day event. Tomorrow is when we'll crown our champ, but plenty is going to go down between now and then in this one re-entry tournament. As the blowtorch available to TVK with these two kings.
Yeah, but you might pick up a little sponsorship along the way as well.
You know, I'm not mining for that.
60.
And if I'm honest, it was exactly that got me hooked on the Samsung drip. They've been like giving me phones for years, and then program shut down, and I was like, well, I'm kind of used to these things, so there I was.
There's a few businesses where the first one's free and then you're hooked.
Yeah, this one was legal. Ace 10.
Not a lot of those floating around, the legal ones. Landon with ace 10 in the big blind, I mean, that's a very respectable hand appeal. Certainly as we get close to the bubble, people will tighten up their big blind calling range. Ace 10, of course, always going to be in there.
And two kings, of course, going to magnetize an ace to the flop. We've all been in this spot. TVK outflopped by Landon.
Especially frustrating for Taylor, who's the shortest stack of the table. Probably very excited to look down at kings and finally pick up some chips. Now in a really rough situation. How does Landon play this?
It's a good question.
His kicker is so strong that normally this could easily be a hand that check raises on the flop, but given this situation that we've talked about a lot, oh, he does find the check raise, nice. This is going to give Taylor fits. It's such a good price. Obviously his kings aren't thrilled to see the ace, but it's such a fantastic price to continue. Quite difficult to let his hand go right away. Yeah, quick call from him. He'll make the real decision on later streets.
So a cheeky check raise out of the ace 10.
God.
And things getting broke back on the turn.
I felt that card in my bones, Ollie.
3 cowboys. And you know, Landon's not particularly concerned about, especially at the size that he chose, TVK's choice to peel here. It doesn't have to be a better ace, and he knows it, which is why he comes forward once more. 200K though, this is downsized, and one of the potential issues in the face of a raise out of TVK here, which is not a given, of course, because he is considering whether or not he's got Landon drawing dead, is the way in which the small size can invite a move from time to time out of the opposition, in particular in position. No movement, however, here. TVK has this pot all but locked up. Flats. And now fills up.
That's a very awkward card for Landon. Suddenly his ace becomes a chop with every other ace. But the stack to pot is just so incredibly low.
And he's not worried about a 9, given the call on the turn.
Yeah.
Out of TVK.
And just the fact that Taylor opened on such a short stack as one of the short stacks of the tournament, likely to have very few 9s in his opening range whatsoever.
And as you pointed out, with 1.3 in the middle, this stuff here from TVK just really beckoned for the call. Very inviting spot for him to try to move Landon off of a chop. So he snaps and provides TVK with effectively the full double. He did leave a chip back. Maybe parking Aram in front of movies such as Half Baked,
I'm out.
Dude, Where's My Car, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and other kind of herbal-centric,
That time you could have had ace.
you know, cinema would be
I would have been scared.
a delight.
Perhaps provide him with some.
You know, it's legal in
Yeah.
a lot of places, so sure. What if he would work? You know, the comp structure could be strictly, I'm just saying, it's
Strictly recreational.
I think that could be economical. Anyhow,
I think
10-9 put to work here unsuccessfully by TBK, who defends his big, and he is really dwindling. 2 10s looking up at a single overcard and have a stranglehold on this one.
fortunately for him, he won't be needing to put any more chips in the pot as this is a relatively blank flop. Imagine Ike just bets here. At this stack size, he's pretty happy to just bet and call off. Oh, that is...
Your batting average today, I confess, Jesse, no judgment, hasn't been great. However, the decision to check back perhaps will be great for Haxton, as all of a sudden TBK is going to feel like this 9 is a pretty good development.
How much you got, Brock?
Yeah, this is going to feel absolutely genius
Anybody
given
short?
the 9 turn.
Now Taylor is well served not to do any betting of his own, as he does check it again. Unclear how Haxton is going to feel about a second check in front of him from the short stack. You like the bet now?
I
900.
think so. 900. Interesting.
Wow, the over bet
putting him
asking
in.
for Taylor to make a commitment. This is very awkward. Stone money bubble. Second pair, our man checked back the queen high board. He doesn't have 6-8. He shouldn't have 9s.
I think Taylor... I mean, he hasn't put the chips in yet. Certainly feels a little uncomfortable about it. He's going to, he's going to be furious when he sees what Ike has. It's really frustrating.
GG.
GG indeed. It's a wrap for TBK.
Thanks.
What a check by Ike, by the way. My goodness. Unbelievable.
He needs a 9, and he needs it now. And all he can find is an ace. And the pain of the bubble sends TBK briskly off this featured table. No doubt boiling over the fact that the deck slapped a 9 on him. And some new faces here in this 100K.
$3.5 million.
As action resumes
480.
and gets underway quickly, as tends to be the case. Post-bubble burst. Do you think they cut me off there as I was maybe getting into a dark place with the Bubble Boy commentary? You know, they threw that commercial at us a bit out of left field, I confess. I wasn't ready for that. You know how at the Oscars you're given an acceptance speech? You know, not that I'm likening what I was saying there to an acceptance speech at the Oscars, but, you know, you go a little long, music comes on, they're like, hey, buddy, wrap it up. Maybe that was PokerGo's version of that.
I like to imagine they got a guy in the control room that they call the Ollie damage
Wrangler?
control guy.
Damage control, I like that.
And he gets on the mic and he's like, he's doing the Bubble Boy bit. You know where this is going.
Right.
Hit
Cut-
the music.
Yeah, cut to commercial.
Bring up the NAPT ad.
Bring up
Was
the
that
King
King
5
five?
off suit,
That's the best I can hope for right there. I mean, fuck.
says Mateos, as Huni's final 5 bigs with the 2 9s performing well here. Adrian has come undone a bit in terms of his stack.
Speaking of coming
Yeah, my
undone,
favorite
Huni
game,
left
I'm
the
gonna tell
table
it.
with, I think, 3 million in chips. He's had a rough go of it since we
No.
last saw him.
Some bludgeoning took place
Oh, God.
elsewhere in the room. A 5 on the board along with 3 spades. Huni
What a
not
flop.
going to be able to relax in this 1 million chip pot. The turn doesn't ring the alarm bell, but the board continues to, as the 9s are hanging on for dear life. A ton to fade. Kings, 5s, and spades need to be warded off. Mission
Wow.
accomplished.
What a brick out there.
What did you want me to say? I voted King 9.
Yeah, I did what you say. I asked.
Yeah.
Play free online poker anytime at PlayPokerGo. No deposits, no risk, just pure action. Jump into ring games and tournaments. Compete against players worldwide and sharpen your game. Plus, check out the new No Gamble, No Future theme Sit and Goes. Play now for free at playpokergo.com. Available on web, iOS, and Android.
Chipped up from 2.4 to 3 million this level. Chewy didn't do any of it.
Yeah, right.
I brought the luck on his shoulder.
You know,
How much so?
Oh.
King, Queen suited here. Heath asking for a count with the ace-9. As Huni looking to spin the wheel once more.
This
Does
feels
ace-9
quite
qualify?
close. Yeah, this is obviously a call if we were playing a cash game, but given the ICM parameters, maybe a lot closer. Certainly Ben expects Huni to jam nearly every ace as he gets this short. Perhaps not the weakest offsuit aces. And he's dominating a number of those hands. Yeah, he puts it in.
Does so in the form of a call, which obviously could create some discomfort in the face of someone behind him waking up or deciding to activate. No such developments, however, as Huni is behind, but not by a ton. 10% equity disparity here in a 2 million chip pot that needs to go his way. He's doubled already once in this frame. Can he do it again?
That's not a good card.
Well, the ace of spades he claimed wasn't a good card, but coupled with the
Get a
10,
spade. Not a jack, at least a
some
spade on the
immediate
turn. No.
avenues are available. No spade sweat on the turn. He begins the process of coming to his feet and potentially ending his bid for a defense of last year's title in this one,
Good luck.
and it's official. There will be no back-to-back bracelets for Big Huni.
Started panicking a little bit.
You know,
I might be buying a Porsche next year, Ollie.
well, yeah, that's the official midlife crisis mobile. Worldwide hallmark of such things. As Whitmire looking to avoid the fate of Huni. Chewy with 2 6s here. Plenty of chips to spoil the fun.
385.
Yep. 385.
Call.
Oh. Okay.
Not the hand you'd like to see when you're Whitmire. Obviously, there's a number of hands you could be called by that you have significantly better equity against. Some hands you're beating as well. Chewy could be in there with like Queen Jack suited, Queen 10 suited.
Yeah, the King 4 now needs to counterfeit with a queen or connect with the king. Instead, his 6 is full for good measure as back-to-back casualties here at this feature, with Chewy claiming the pelt this time and ending Whitmire's bid for an FT.
Yeah, the players are keeping it quite in line here with 13 left.
10 seconds. Time extension.
Ivey going to defend with the King 4 off suit. Vieira going to look up at a flop once more, and this time he's behind with Ivey finding middle pair on the Queen High Rainbow board, slips it over.
Always fun to see how Zhao approaches these spots when he doesn't have the best hand.
10 seconds.
He's certainly one of the more lethal players in terms of finding all sorts of creative lines in the aggressive fashion.
Ooh, look at
Wow.
this turn here. Any murkiness in the waters in which Ivey waded has been relieved as things are crystal clear with trip fours and a king kicker. Very cozy with 800 in the middle. Vieira south of 2-1 SPR with this ace high.
Would not be surprised if we see a lead here from Ivey. Yeah, immediately reaches for chips. Perhaps some sort of float that had some small amount of equity, like king 9 of diamonds might go for it here. Yeah, and he keeps him honest, the ace jack. He's going to face an incredibly tough decision on the river.
Well, Ivey's decision, which could be an ask for all of it potentially.
I would be highly surprised if he puts any more chips in the pot. Ivey just checking. That actually might.
All in.
Maybe.
Wow,
Wow, this
Vieira
is
has
so sick.
jammed.
This is so sick. I really think Vieira was done with the hand if Ivey bet, and now he's. No
Oh, wow.
way!
My goodness. Ivey just deciding that the backdoor clubs were the only thing that Vieira possessed, given the jam on the end, and he didn't make a meal of his decision whatsoever, quite comfortably folding the trip fours, but not doing so correctly. Session where he defeated Victor Blom for somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million
That was quite a day.
in a
Meanwhile, by the way,
few days, as Mateos is looking to defeat ace 6 of diamonds. King, queen off. The hand he's chosen to draw a line in the sand really has been card dead and shackled for the better part of a couple of hours, maybe longer, Jesse. His erosion was no fault of his own. Taking a stand here, finding an open ender.
okay.
One ace unavailable.
It's a lot to work with.
13 outs as it stands. Jack or a 10 do the trick for a chop now, as additional pathways to continue the fight reveal themselves to the Spaniard. Can El Conquistador battle on?
GG.
No, we can't. Chorus of GGs and a helping of chips as Mateos is vanquished.
I would say personal security generally gets to wear a nicer
You think they come tell the
suit and tie sort of setup.
Right, I don't think Vinny would even look to have somebody overtly on protection detail like that. Maybe a little willing to open into him. Sat 15 big blinds deep is on his mind, yet he does choose to 3-bet to $1 million.
All in.
Well, the 8's a qualifier, and Oganyan didn't commit $1 million to orphan it in the face of this reaction. It would seem, although I don't know, maybe there's a 3-bet fold here. It would seem mathematically.
No, Oganyan almost put the chips in immediately and then just wanted to double check the stacks real quick. It's kind of a funny pump fake, but
I got queen 7.
sitting here sweating it out.
Because they get to run it first. Is someone all in?
Oganyan is
But we'll
deeply
see.
unbothered, by the way,
I'm gonna lose everyone.
by virtually everything right now, based on the look.
I got a feeling Oganyan's been unbothered by anything for many years now.
Yeah, I think he unbothers regularly,
Okay.
if I had to take a guess.
What's that meme? Staying in my lane. Happy,
Yeah,
moisturized.
moisturized.
Yeah, unbothered. We might have
Trying
to
to
get
slip
rid
a
of whatever
prepay.
the original
I think I'm gonna
pictures and just
default
put Oganyan in there.
Oh, the 10 in the window and no 8.
And 2 spades.
I fold queen.
No
Oganyan
one could.
Queen 5.
smashing this
How good
board
am I?
here.
Peters is at 1 out. This is just all bad for D. Peters.
Which 8?
And it goes from bad to
Game,
worse.
David.
David.
Yes.
Okay, great.
As Oganyan claims a pelt and brings himself up to almost 20 million in chips, Jesse. Well, play free online poker anytime at Play Poker Go. No deposits, no risk, just pure action. Jump into ring games and tourneys, compete against players worldwide, and sharpen your game. Plus, check out the new No Gamble, No Future theme sit and goes. Play now for free at playpokergo.com. Available on web, iOS, or Android. Meanwhile, potency coming in the form of ace, jack of hearts for Vinny Lingham. Picks up Ben Heath's suited connector in the big blind, which turns in
Oh, no.
to an open ender on a monotone all-heart board. Lingham has flopped the nut flush. Heath with the check. And Vinny playing with pace here. 300K C-bet.
That was such a ridiculously fast bet.
And I wonder whether or not Heath feels more or less inclined in the face of that, provided he's taking it into consideration to proceed.
And let me tell you, I've talked to Ben several times. Ben Heath is a man who does take that kind of thing into consideration. Not going to fold the open ender right away, given the price, but he pays attention.
Oh,
to
no.
stuff. Oh, that's...
Forgive the interruption, but blame the 8 of diamonds, Jesse, as Heath with a catastrophic immediate making of the straight and a check back from Lingham. Board pairing 4.
Wow.
Obviously, there are 2 complete hands that the straight falls to. Decent sizing out of Heath, followed by a jam, presumably, from Lingham. Sat just 2.6 for an additional 1.5.
2.2.
Oh, he min raises. Leaves a little back.
Ben immediately drops the hood.
Yeah, Ben's hating this.
He really a loathsome spot to be put in for Heath, just given the 2.2. You know.
Yeah.
On my knee, basketball, anything.
No, and if he does, he might even just call river. We don't know.
So much.
Now Heath does call, was never particularly proud of the 8 high straight.
Two-time bang. Two-time bang.
Maybe Ivey's going to walk in with a 3-bet from the small blind, sizing up Vieira's total stack here.
10 seconds.
A lot of hand. Yep. Jams it.
Oh, no! Ho, ho!
Haxton with a spoonful of medicine in the big.
Count.
The antidote to this ace queen of diamonds.
At 30. You're counting it. How much is it?
4,300,000.
Oh, 375.
4,375.
No, what is it?
I don't.
Yeah.
It's 4,375. Okay, you can run my clock now.
The clock
You should get 30. You should
30.
get 30. Thank you.
Jesse, Ike covers.
Sorry, I'm trying to tell you what to do.
I mean, Vieira's out of here no matter what. Ike doesn't necessarily know that, but he's got the big blind and big blind ante in there. Ace king offsuit.
I mean, this is going in, obviously. It's just about...
Time extension.
Wow.
Good luck, gentlemen.
This is...
Somebody dropped the thermostat to its coldest setting here. And the draft pointed squarely at Phil Ivey's ace queen of diamonds. And that's where it stays on a 6-7-8 board. Running chop outs, potentially the 4
Okay.
is one part of that puzzle.
Okay.
5 and we carve it up, queen and I hog it. Anything else?
Ooh.
And it's curtains. For one of the GOATs, Phil Ivey. Not going to be collecting a bracelet here in this 100K as he can fight no longer. What's the high limit min here at the shoe? 50 bucks?
I mean... I don't know. I can't say that I've played blackjack down here at the Horseshoe.
What have you played,
475.
Jesse? Oh, hang on. We're going to play 475 with Jack 5 off. Ben Heath wants to end this here and now. Chewy's limp with the ace 5 suited was not with the intention of stepping away, and he's performing very well. Making the call here, 1.1 in the middle.
This is nice by Ben, by the way. This feels like the exact kind of hand that likes to isolate on the stack size.
What are you looking at, Doc?
I don't know,
Top
man.
pair for Chewy.
I think
I wonder what was
the visual system was
Yeah,
off.
very
I
unfortunate
love
flop
thinking
from Ben.
through your mind
For
with
Ben.
your glass. Right there.
Probably one that he continues on in some capacity, and
My luck charm, I'll tell you that.
obviously not one that Chewy's looking to
You
fold.
do seem to
On
know
this
a lot
board
of hands
texture,
on the table.
obviously
Not
he's
against
sort
me
of
either.
purchased the
Not
right to
against
rep
everybody else. Yeah,
this part of the deck, and he's got a jack,
we
which
played a big pot.
rates to interfere with some.
Chill out, bro.
He has a blocker.
Why need to bring up the
Like a-
pass like
like
He has a
big
hand
jack,
with no showdown
some big
value.
blinds.
He has no
Ram
club,
on
so
it.
if the board runs out
I
a
bet
brick
all
without a
but one
club,
shove
he has a
that.
very
Obviously.
enticing
Probably
hand
had
to
it.
continue
I don't
bluffing.
remember like anything about the board or anything.
And unfortunately for him, Chewy has a
Being in line,
very
you know,
strong hand
started
as
bringing
well,
the valet
so
lines up. That was dumb.
we will see.
Just back to the room it is.
750.
750,000.
And sadly, I saw you actually, like 5 minutes after my, like as I was getting my car, you were coming down. I was like, oh, what happened to him? Fuck. Didn't put him to good use. But that's it. I don't just going probably play.
Must have been a while ago if you saw me at the valet line.
Or you were just, maybe you were just, you were leaving. I don't know.
Yeah.
You were going to your
750K.
car, or I was in the,
No, I
you probably, you know, like in Aria, they
Lacking
just go up.
any
I was
hope
in my room.
whatsoever of
much
taking this
always-
pot down.
You probably self-parked.
no, I don't drive. I pretty much always take a taxi.
So you probably were going to grab a cab.
Chewy's taking his time,
Oh,
but
you're
this
right,
is a
that
call.
way,
He's
yeah,
never
yeah.
raising, he's never folding.
I don't know if you clocked it, but Ike apparently
The main
taking
one,
something
yeah.
as well, namely
Yeah.
taxis.
I like the studio.
Not the one by the club.
Why?
Are you going to play any of the studio stuff?
Yeah, respect to
in the
taxi
summer?
drivers,
The
but
summer?
Ike is
Me?
old school, man.
Uber and
Not something
Lyft
else,
maybe.
Are you gonna
Ike
play
doesn't own any Bitcoin, he doesn't take Uber, all right?
Go on.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Doesn't own any Bitcoin.
I bluffed
So a
it off
flat
soon, man.
from Chewy.
Ooh.
8 on the end.
Not
Could also be repped here
three.
by Heath.
2.8.
I was sick too. I played.
And he is going to make a big commitment. 2.8 of the 3-5 remaining, overbetting this pot by 200K. And max pressure application.
I don't know.
I wonder if Chewy thinks this is...
Fold.
Ooh. Let's it go. Wow, that was Heath's tournament right there.
Dovey gonna be pissed?
What?
Dovey gonna be pissed?
Dovey's gonna love it.
Ooh. A couple of kings. Kangaroos, as my man Landon would say.
Okay. Springing into action will be Haxton here.
Had a nice little ring to it. I like that.
Kangaroos.
Springing into action
Well,
will
you
be
see
Haxton.
what I've done there.
Yeah.
4 1/4.
You didn't answer my question earlier today. Do you know what a group of kangaroos is called?
I did answer your question. I said a nuisance, and then I said target practice. But I don't know
That's
the
right.
actual
You
response.
did say that.
You never came with it.
Oh
I'll
my
allow you to do it
goodness.
now, as perhaps allowance
75.
will be headed toward Ike Haxton here in the form of Chewy's chips. Ace, king of diamonds,
No.
taking us upstairs, and 2 aces for Vieira.
No.
Do not adjust your screen. This is a surreal visual. Stone cold collisions here at the final table of the 100K.
This is completely absurd. And how is Chewy always involved in these situations?
Normally, you got to be somewhere in the Rust Belt, maybe, at a demolition derby to witness this sort of carnage.
$2.4.
Vieira not getting hasty, making it 2.4, comes back around to Haxton now.
How much are you playing, Nasa?
Depending on what Haxton does here, Jesse, could we see the very seldom opportunity for an ace-king to escape pre?
Ace-king suited, no less, too. I think it's possible. I think once Haxton jams, this 4-bet already looks quite strong. These aren't particularly positions that will be getting bluffed a ton. Obviously, Haxton's a little bit earlier position.
Hi, Jeff.
Chewy's on the button. But I think once Vieira 4-bets, which looks quite strong in and of itself, and Haxton, in spite of that, jams, Chewy might say, you know, these are a couple of ranges where I'm not really ahead of anything.
Like maybe
anymore.
we think best case, another ace-king.
Yeah, exactly. Or in best case, like queens plus type of thing.
Right.
But
Well,
just-
queens plus is bad news.
yeah,
You know, I mean,
you're not thrilled. And it could also be a situation where somebody else has ace-king and somebody else has queens. Or
Right.
somebody has kings and somebody has aces, obviously. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a terrible situation
two
as
ace
well.
kings and a couple of queens is a really devastating spot to find
Yeah.
yourself in.
Ike is giving this serious thought. There
Well,
it
he
is.
does jam, and he's not going to be faulted for doing so. That is music to Vieira's ears, by the way. He opened the door for this to go down, and in doing so, has opened the door to a possible exit for the ace-king of diamonds. Let us observe as Chewy masticates.
Yeah, quick fold. Well
Yeah.
done by Chewy.
He did not make a meal out of that whatsoever.
Disgusting setup right here.
Very validating to look up at aces and kings there, as Vieira is poised to decimate Haxton.
Oh, we got it in, huh? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I dropped him.
What a hand. Oh, it can't be on the phone.
We've seen this sort of frost already on the day, and things stay cold for Ike on this flop.
You covered by a little bit. They got 6.9.
A single king
I could think of a lot of
remains
Don't
in the deck.
I'll take my chances, brother.
Backdoor club pot. Oh, nope. They're all dead. No more backdoor straights. No more backdoor flushes.
That is a good one for me.
One out for Ike Haxton.
And he is all but out of chips.
69,
Down
I
to
think.
5.5 big blinds, Jesse. Well, this one ain't wrapping up tonight, as we are moments away from the conclusion of play, but rather tomorrow, when the coronation will take
He also gets
place.
distracted sometimes. Duffy, the action's on you, bro.
3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern will get underway.
Well,
That's
that's
going to
clear.
do it for
We're at
tonight as we give you a
145.
glimpse here, brought to you by PokerStars, of the official chip counts. Only Phil Ivey came to the end of the road once the final table was set here on day 2 of this 100K No Limit Hold'em High Roller, which was an entertaining one, courtesy of Aram Oganyan, who provided entertainment and found his way to the top of the leaderboard. 21 million plus in front of him as we wrap it up for the evening. On behalf of our entire crew here in Las Vegas and my partner Jesse Sylvia, this is Ali Najad saying good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.